Greetings, greetings, it's Copy Who. I am here coming to you on this amazing Sunday. Amazing Sunday. Wearing a button-up black t-shirt. It's not a t-shirt, it's a button-up. It's a dress shirt. It's totally black. It's really dark on here, right? You go like this, get some light shining on it. I was having to look very carefully at why the lighting was off before, but I had an extra pair of lights I turned on that I didn't want on. And so this is about right. This is the look right here, everybody. I am here with a new friend right now. Check this out. Okay, hold on. No, I actually want to turn the music down and off and come back here. Hello, my friends. It's the two of you. You guys, you know who that is actually right there? That little one right there is my new owl that is now the mate of Copy. And interestingly, you know what the name is? It came to me because actually when you look at her, you see her, she's got like jewels and rhinestones on her. And it's not rhinestones, it's like probably cubic zirconia, some kind of shiny thing on her outer coat. And so I'm calling her Jules. She's Jules who? What do you think of that? That's pretty unique, right? Where did I get the idea as Jules? Well, you know, the show is named Copy Who. And so Copy is the bird, the big bird, and the last name is Who because owls go whoo, whoo. And the little one there, right, buddy? That's her name. It's Jules. So you're like you're jewelry or something. So I call you Jules, and you'll be contributing on to the show on and off, right? I'm very happy about that. So today, let me move right on from my friends here. Thank you for being here, Jules, Copy. It's lovely to have you both here. And Jules, you be careful with her, Copy. She's really tiny compared to you. You know what I mean? She's like at filleting height. I know. She doesn't like that either. I'm sorry, darling. But sometimes I'm going to be goofing around like that. You're just going to have to grow a thick skin because the host of the show gets to do whatever he wants. And if I want to debase you and I want to be mean to you, that's what I'm going to do. Okay? Okay, I'm glad you guys are both good sports about it. Thank you. Jules, thank you, Copy. Mr. and Mrs. Who right there, okay? Some people get what I'm doing. Some people, it's just an inside joke for some of us, but I don't care. I don't care. Okay, today I'm going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence right at the top, at the beginning here. And then I'm going to move on to talk about, what is it I want to talk about? I want to talk about these few videos. I have one called HOflation versus Broflation. Some dude making commentary on that. I'll tell you who it is when it comes up. I have two clips from Fresh and Fit. One is Andrew Brief and Andrew Tate. One is Brief, and I believe it's Andrew Tate's brother. They don't say who it is on there because it's just a short, and I wanted to comment on that. And lastly, I have another one from Rollo Tomassi because he is like the man when it comes to just whining and bitching and moaning all the time about grifting. Stop talking about grifting and talk about the topic, okay? You just think you can tell who. You can just call out everybody. And so pretty soon I know you're going to call me a grifter because that's like what you do. I still like you and I'm just goofing on you. And I've read most of your books and I say that on every video where I talk about you. And I like to think I'm a little more than a grifter. But I do like the topic and it's one of the things I want to talk about in society, okay? But first, my friends and darlings, we're going to go all the way over here like this. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the what I've been doing here with artificial intelligence. And so what's interesting about these images that I'm going to pull up here is, okay, so you see this. This is an image I made on something called Playground AI. And what's cool about it is it's very interesting looking. The prompt I put in on Playground AI to make this was... I believed I didn't use a filter, and what I said was draw a picture of an atomic bomb exploding on the moon. And I think it got it totally wrong, but it's very interesting nonetheless what I'm looking at here. I like it very much. Here's another one I did, and this one was on an AI program, the one that I have found as my predominant favorite, and it's called It's called Mid-Journey, and you have to use Discord. And I'm not going to do a tutorial on these. I'm just showing you what I've made in the course of this. And I made up this aspect ratio here. And this is probably a combination between two different images I did. And I'm just trying to come up with cool stuff. And these are things I don't have any use for them, but like, look at the artwork here. That's pretty darn cool, right? And this was another combination of two different things. So when people are out there, a lot of artists are taking offense to this because they're like, you're just stealing artwork. But no, these things get really like unique and original, especially when you have it put two things together. Earlier today in my own, I was taking a dragon I had generated on Mid-Journey, and I took this old picture I did of this original artwork I do where I take pictures on the wall of the sunlight going through crystals and magnifying the crystals and the prisms that go through crystals, and I treat and manipulate the art and the light, and then I took that thing I did and mixed it with the dragon, and I got some really unique results. And so I'm going to go to this next one here. Okay, here's another one I made yesterday. I made an Instagram account where I'm posting some of the things I'm not going to use in any commercial endeavor. And this I put in the prompt on Mid-Journey. I think all I did was say, what did I say? It was version 4 Mid-Journey. And I said, AI God, meaning artificial intelligence God. And this is what popped out. So that's what I'm using as a profile pic on an Instagram account I have that is called Request AI Art. And if you want to go there and follow, that would be cool. I don't think a lot enough people are paying attention enough to what I'm doing on this video where I'll get a lot of followers right now. But if you want to follow, I'm just putting art up there. And if you like the picture, and if you make a comment, or no, if you like the picture, if you follow the page, the first person who comments on an image can comment with a prompt, and I will go to one of my AI art programs that I'm using, and I'll put it in and say, here you go. I'll even send you the finalized upscaled file if you want. You can have it. But so that's just a challenge to give people a little idea of like, if you want to be involved here, you can do that. Okay, so this was some like, I want to say I put the prompt in like surreal fantasy castle or something like that. And it generated all sorts of these. This one I posted on my Instagram account. And it was kind of cool because there were different iterations of this. And one of those iterations I combined with a very cool dragon pic that I made. I combined those two. It fused them together, and it was very compelling looking. And I actually sent it out. And then I actually put this interesting image it made into a circle, and I put it on the front of a picture that I'm going to have available on Amazon, and I'd be happy to post, show you what that is eventually. Actually, I'm going to order the shirt. I'm going to have it here, and I'm going to put the link up so people can buy it if they want it. And that's part of what I'm doing just to enjoy myself. Okay, here's one that's kind of interesting. This was done on Mid-Journey. I gave it a picture of me to go from like 10 years ago when I was working downtown. I was on the top of a building. That's why there are bricks back there. That's like the skyline of Denver down there. And this was me when I had lots more hair. And I was much skinnier at the time too. It doesn't look like me very much, I don't think. It's kind of like a caricature of me that I kind of like. I actually think it's cool. I personally really like it. And so that was me a lot skinnier back in the day, downtown in the Santa Fe Art District. And I said, the prompt I put was cartoon, and it was done in Mid-Journey. And so that's all I think I have to show you right now. But these AI that I've been creating are absolutely fascinating. I'm really enjoying the shit out of what I'm doing. Let me click on this, get this window going over here. What I want to say. Oh, hey, I didn't say for you to start talking. What are you doing? You shush. You shush, mister. And so I'm going to come back over here from the front really briefly and just say, okay, I have a few videos here. Some of it's going to be intersexual dynamics topic. I'm going to be silly some. I'm going to try and make some serious commentary some. And yeah, I'm going to be going back to the well with Rollo Tomassi a lot, trying to sharpen my skill and knowledge base to be credible talking about this topic. And he can call me a grifter till he's blue in the face. I know I'm an intellectual heavyweight. I don't need your validation. And I'm gonna keep going, and hopefully you'll appreciate some things I have to say, because I'd love to be able to contribute someday when I earn your respect, bro. Right. So let's move on and let's talk about this video. This is Mark Queppet. That's who this dude is. I usually post a link to all the videos that I review on the show, and so that's what I will do today. I will also post chapters so that whoever is seeing this video back will be able to go straight to a section if they have a specific section they want to talk about. So, okay, Mark. Wait, that's what I said your name is, right? Mark Queppet. You got to change that last name, at least get a stage name, bro. I'll tell you what. I don't have anything to tell you after that, but let's go.
Recently on Twitter, I asked guys to describe what the biggest challenge facing modern men was in 3 words or less. And one of the answers I got was HOflation.
Excuse me. Why only 3 words? There are a lot of things facing men. And I should expound on that. Why only 3 words? And so he said he's saying HOflation. And let's hear what his explanation of that is. But there are a lot more than 3 mere words. It's like when someone says, "What's your favorite song on the album? What's your favorite album? What's your favorite band?" I don't like picking favorites because there's so much variety in life. There's enough room and space and latitude to appreciate all kinds of things. And by the way, I'm not on drugs right now. I got a really good night's sleep last night, and I'm really glad I did, because I feel very rested after several days of waking up way too early in the morning. Yesterday, I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was all day long messing around with AI and doing stuff with that and learning. And I was exhausted, and I grind my teeth a lot when I'm exhausted. And okay, you're right. I need to shut up, my friend. I'm just talking too much, right? What do you think, Jules? Do you think I need to shut up? Yes, okay, you're absolutely right. So I'm going to come back here, and we're going to continue this video now, because I digress a lot on these things, believe me. But 3 words? HOflation. Define HOflation, bro. Define HOflation. Mark.
And the guy who said that, he attached a screenshot defining what HOflation was. And it went, "Modern men have to work 10 times harder than their grandfathers did. For women, 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were. It's called HOflation, and it's destroying Western men's desires to be providers and protectors." And I can kind of see
what's up with that?
Where this is coming from, right? I've definitely seen women who fall into this caricature, who seem to have a very outsized idea of the qualities that the man they should get should have.
I am going to chime in and say, we are living in a society where there is so much. We're a spoiled society. Materially, we have so much excess, and people are so spoiled that. And you grow up in good times, and you become entitled, and you become superficial and stuck up and materialistic. And I genuinely believe that's part of what's happening with women. Aside from other things, like there are deliberate social campaigns, I think, that descend from far up high. The hidden hands of power want to destroy the family unit. They want to destroy relations between people. They want to divide people, polarize people. That's all the macro view of everything that's going on. But what I am saying is that we're in a spoiled society, and so there are tons of women now who have an attitude just like, "I'm so hot, I'm so great, and I want to be with a man who has a lot of money, and I don't want to cook, and if he don't want to appreciate me, he don't care." I don't know what kind of impression I'm doing. That's an impression of all women. I'm not doing any particular group of women, the superficial group of women, okay? Because I'm going to say this when I get ahead to what is it? Fresh and Fit clip shortly, just about how I wish those guys, instead of doing all the clickbait with the hoes who are on OnlyFans, I wish that those guys would also talk to a much more serious, intellectual type of woman. So let's go back to here, and let's continue with Mark. And the last name I can't remember.
Let's look at what this stereotypical HOflated woman.
Dude, I'm taking way too long on this. We got to move through this.
Who's over 6 feet tall, right? She wants a guy who's making
that's
over
fine.
6 figures.
Look, know what you're saying about physical height. That's okay. I think that's evolutionary. Women want to be with tall guys. That makes perfect sense from an evolutionary standpoint, and I don't think that's stuck up. 6 feet tall, ladies. You want a guy who's 6 feet tall? I'm single. I'm right here. I have balls the size of a freaking mountain.
Ideally, he also has...
Figuratively. they might have atrophied in my middle age with the deterioration of my testosterone levels. If you can't tell, I'm giving you too much info. Let's continue.
Six-pack, but at the very least, he's got muscles, right? He's in shape. And
Yes.
of course, he has
Work
to be
out,
dedicated to only her, and he's got to treat her like a queen, right? That's this HOflated ideal.
Yes,
Meanwhile, the argument...
it's over-idealized what a man needs to be for a woman. And I also think a man has a perverse idea of what a woman should be, and that's what you get to momentarily. I want to thank my friend Amber for telling me about this guy's video, because I wanted to talk about it the moment I heard it.
Goes that she's overweight, she makes little or no money.
Valid.
She
Valid.
either can't or won't cook or clean.
Valid.
And she's
Valid.
addicted to social media. And the big
Valid.
one is she's got this huge body count of past sexual partners.
Super valid.
So I can see guys who are caught in this mentality, viewing this. They're like, oh yeah, it's bullshit. All this HOflation going on. It's unfair. These women want these things that
These words, I'll tell you, nothing has evolved the English language like the internet and people interacting and all these pop culture manifestations where words change, words evolve. Arrogant, crazy, psycho people make up new words. Sometimes they're valid new words. They have a good use in a new contemporary context. Sometimes they're bogus and lame and stupid.
provide, and it's just bullshit because they're not even worth it. Now,
totally,
there may
man.
be some truth.
Marry up, guys. There are a lot of good ladies out there, I do believe, and you got to be competitive and get out there if you want your pick of the litter, so to speak. And that's not to make something like, I believe in deep connections between men and women, and they should be a good team. And okay, HOflation, Broflation continued.
To that, but I always got to look at the flip side, right? You know, let's look at the other side of this. Let's call it Broflation, okay? And I think that this is equally as much of a thing. So what does the average guy want? Okay, well, I believe he wants a girl who looks like a porn star, has sex like a porn star, has few or no previous sexual partners, is traditionally feminine, doesn't place high financial demands on him, and will cook and clean for him.
Now, you know what? So we just got through the part where I might have been a little hard on some women, saying valid, valid, valid to all those things that women want. And equally, we have a male population right now that is very much deluded about what their expectations should be. I think pornography's been horrible for society and male-female relationships. The expectations guys have sexually make no sense in a real world, and they also diminish the enjoyment we could have had if porno had been way less accessible and most of us didn't have such ubiquitous access to it everywhere on our phones, iPads, computers, anywhere, everywhere you can find pornography. I think we'd be much better off. It would be easy to look at a woman and just get turned on. What you got to do, take it from me right now, okay? I'm going to give you some good advice, gentlemen. If you're addicted to porn, just like Rollo says, I think it's a buffer between you and having a good relationship. You get satisfied, and then you don't have that tension that's built up to go out and meet a woman. So you're going to want to quit the porn if you want to have a healthy relationship with a woman. And I know, God knows myself, that's not easy. I understand what that means. But the longer you give that up, the more you're going to enjoy this other thing. I once heard Mike Tyson say something about how he likes to wait a very long time in between having sex because you really enjoy yourself. And the same I would say is true with pornography. If you go without pornography and if you go without pleasuring yourself for like a month, you're going to build up a lot of pressure, and you're going to definitely have no problem releasing that pressure and enjoying yourself and giving yourself a lot of great loving energy to a woman that you're with. And plus, I think it cleanses the spirit, because if you watch junk all the time, when I play the guitar a lot, I find myself in my head just going through these riffs in my head on the fretboard. And if you're watching pornography a lot, you're going to have that image in your head. Men are extremely visual, and they're going to naturally have that in their head. You're going to be less aroused by what is normal in life if you're looking at that stuff all the time. But if you give it up, and you go a good amount of time, you'll notice that, like I start having crazy dreams at night. I start seeing women far away who are very blurry and old, and I'm like turned on. I get turned on by the curve on my guitar. I've said that before, honestly. So I will go back to this now, and we will continue listening to you. This is going to be a long one today because I'm energetic and I have a lot to say.
Meanwhile, if we're going to look at what the average man actually is, well, he's out of shape. He's addicted to porn.
No, I'm not.
He's addicted to video games. And he's definitely not
addicted
making any
to
sort
games.
of bold career moves. Now,
BS.
I'm not trying to shit on the average.
Excuse me. Look what I'm doing. Do you think it was easy to set this room up like this? These lights, these computers, these things. I'm doing AI. I'm putting up t-shirts. I got it going on, man. I aspire to more, so don't you put us all in a category like that, Mark. Gee
the
whiz.
average woman for being average, because that's just what it means to be average, is that you're not top of the pack. But the thing is,
we ain't average,
social
Mark.
media has trained us.
I think you have the same mic as
social media,
Rollo.
and I guess porn, internet culture in general, has allowed us to see so many people at like the edges and the tops of bell curves.
Yes.
Of being able to see these extreme outliers, both
totally
in terms
warped
of,
our perception.
men who are
dude.
extremely
Totally warped our perception.
successful, women who are extremely attractive, all this kind of stuff that we've started to warp our tastes. And I believe that men are equally
it's contributing to the division and polarization of society. There's no doubt about it.
Guilty of this, because if they're constantly jerking off to porn and that sort of thing, it's like, well, they start to think, well, that's what I need, that's what I really want, is a girl who looks and acts like that.
I think guys who are confused and lost in that become brainwashed into that mentality, but those of us who have elevated thinking know that that's not a healthy way to live. And what's the truth about you, Mark? You don't talk. When you're having this talk right now, you're not admitting to us, what are you doing with porn? Anything? Guys usually say something. I've seen porn. I've seen it. I don't see it every day. I don't even pleasure myself every day because I let the tension up. I let the tension build up so that when I'm out and about, I feel that tension with women, and I'm motivated to go up and talk to them. That's the real deal there.
It screws up everything, right? I see this on all sides.
Oh, I'm goofing on you a lot, but I agree with a tremendous amount of what you're saying. And I have to make this interesting from where I'm coming from. I have my format. I'm silly. I'm doing what I got to do.
People have this distorted view of who they are, what they deserve.
Yes, we all do.
And how to go about getting good things.
Worse than ever.
Okay?
Thank you, smartphones. Thank you, social media. Thank you, internet. Thank you, mainstream media. Thank you, content sites like Netflix and Hulu and all the ancient media that is now getting on board with brainwashing, everything. Oh, it's too much.
Hey, both really good women and really good men still exist.
Yes.
They do. All right.
I agree.
What are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me there's no good women left? No, that's not true at all. The
Jules
thing is,
agrees.
Though, if you want an extremely high quality woman, guess what? You have to be an extremely high quality man. There's no way around it. Why would it be any other way? And so it's like, I get why.
I just want to chime in on what you're saying. Not just trying to walk all over it by being a jackass, but being in a relationship with someone where you're genuinely crazy about the person. And I think this goes for men and women both. If you're both oriented healthily, mentally, and so forth, if you have values, I especially esteem Judeo-Christian values in people, then you're going to want to be better for that other person. You're always going to ask yourself how you can grow better together. And so you have to be mindful to get away from all these influences, including like this podcast. You shouldn't, if I had 1,000 million hours, you should not necessarily be watching me instead of spending the time with your wife. But I want you both to watch and learn something right now. Okay?
Guys fall into this sort of bitterness. And a lot of it is not really even their fault.
Definitely.
It's like they've,
society's
I was going to put
blame.
a big, blame on it all. I think porn culture has really fucked guys up because it's morphed their sexual tastes to expect things that they probably won't be able to get, and in reality might not even want. Okay,
but only somewhat of a jackass is going to think that those expectations are realistic or justified. Like, that's another sense in which we're talking about the warped sense of entitlement and narcissism where, yeah, I'm so cool. Oh, yeah. Like, it's the celebrity mentality, the American mentality, which I believe has been studied and it's been demonstrated to be very narcissistic for a lot of people. That's not elevated thinking when you have expectations and a sense of entitlement that is so self-absorbed that you think women have to live up to porn, being like a porn star or something. Nobody should be watching that stuff. Kids shouldn't be having. That's why kids shouldn't have unfettered access to cell phones and iPads and computers unless they're extremely closely regulated by the parents.
A sexuality and a sexual desire that is not attached to that. Like, you just go back and you look at, like you talk about your grandfathers, okay? They didn't have sexual tastes morphed by pornography.
Yeah,
they were able to see that average woman as beautiful and exciting, okay? Now,
my grandparents conceived 10 children. 10. That is like pre-pornography. That is amazing. Way to go, Grandpa.
Yes, I think the biggest point here that men
and Grandma, that's a lot of work for the lady especially. I'm being silly when I praise the man. Yes, getting your action, procreating, and the women do so much of the work after the guys have just fun doing it.
Is that women in a lot of ways have abandoned traditional femininity. But I think a lot of women are actually really hungry to become traditionally feminine. But the only way in which they can really relax into that and embrace that is if they have a truly masculine man to make becoming feminine again feel safe, feel good, feel natural, feel right. Because, if you're going to steel man the feminist argument, they had a point. Like I think that in a lot of cases, women were at the mercy of kind of piggish men who didn't really properly care for them. They just expected, these women to cook and clean for them and bear their babies. And meanwhile, they could go out and drink and sleep around and do that kind of thing. And so it's like, we have to be better. Yeah. I believe that's the case. If you want a better woman, be a better man.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, the only way you're going to get there is by pursuing self-mastery. All right, there are plenty of good girls out there, but if you don't master yourself, you don't get yourself.
I heard you say self-mastery, and I thought, I'm like, my dirty mind is hearing self-masturbation. So that's all I wanted to say to that.
You don't quit porn. You don't get off the video games and start playing the real game of life.
Stop saying every man plays video games.
Being productive.
Some men play guitar.
Yeah, you're just going to sit here.
Some men do what I'm doing right now.
Over the fact
nothing
that
happening under the table here.
And I'm sorry it's hard, because it is, right? It is hard. But the thing is, so much of our life is so much easier. There's so much more opportunity out here today than our grandfathers ever had. And so, yeah, the game's different, but you can play and you can win.
I think the world is different.
And if you want help doing this, then you're going to want to check out my Manhood Mastery training.
Nope. No, thank you. But I will subscribe to you and see if you have more to say. Look at that. I subscribed to you, bro. You know what else I'm going to do for you? I'm going to like this, and I'm going to say thank you to my friend Amber who showed that to me. That was pretty good, actually. I want to, moving along here, moving along, what should come second? Okay, I have this clip of, these are shorter clips, so it's not going to go on super long forever doing this.
You know what's amazing? It's so amazing.
So this is Andrew Tate on Fresh and Fit.
Positivity to protect females.
First of all, look how he's surrounded by women, and look how they all have the alpha gaze on him. This guy, I can't believe how he commands the attention of women. It sucks that he's in prison right now, and I hope that if he is there, I hope it's for justified reasons. But I have my doubts because I think just the most popular masculine men in the world, governments are trying to destroy them right now because that's the kind of man that could save the world. But if what they're saying about him is true, then my opinion would be totally different. And, I've heard him say a lot of insightful things, but look how these women just fawn over him.
Nobody talks about it to protect men.
Yeah, thanks.
And it's actually amazing. You nailed it, right? It makes your life harder. And I kind of feel like sometimes if a woman puts on a bit of weight, her friends are so busy giving her body positivity. Let me tell you what happened if I got out of shape. My brother would be like, what the f? happened to you, bro?
You
You're
good?
a fat. You used to be the man.
Valid.
You were Hercules. Why'd you let it all slip? And
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with
I
accountability.
see now.
There's nothing wrong.
I'm
And
agreeing with what he's saying right now because I don't think people should ever let themselves go. If it's okay, you slip once in a while in life, but you should always be trying to maintain health. And if you maintain health, usually you wind up maintaining a good-looking physique. I am always, when I go to my parents' house for dinner, because that's what we still do a lot, is I say, Mom, give me less. Always give me less. If I want more, I'll get up and get it. But I always eat less. And when I get good nights of sleep, I get up and I do a lot of workouts. Oh, man, my phone is just, every time that thing flashes, it bugs me. Got to get off your list. So, yes, I agree with a lot of what he says. You got to try and stay fit in life.
not fair. What it's not fair
For
to
self-respect,
to
for
make fun of
health,
something
for
they cannot
longevity,
change.
for your
It's
health.
not fair to judge someone by their skin color. It's certainly not fair to judge a man by his height, but you all do it.
Oh,
It's
don't.
not fair, but it is fair to judge somebody by their own personal
These
choices,
ladies-
which they can definitely affect if they
Oops.
so choose.
They're hanging
Because that
on his
says a lot
every
about their
word here.
personality as a
Mhm,
whole.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something now. It's
Yeah,
gonna sound
Andrew,
crazy.
yeah.
So put it all over the fucking internet, make me go viral. I don't do business with fat fuckers. I'm talking about men. If I sit down with a fat guy, I don't do business with him because I assume he's lazy. I assume he's lazy.
Dude,
I will sit there with him and
I
say,
don't
you know
necessarily agree.
what? You're sitting here,
I
you want
partly
$7 million
do.
of my money, and you came and hit a fucking treadmill? No, I won't do it. Now
That doesn't mean a lot of fat dudes aren't exceptionally driven. They're just not driven to get up and move around. But I think they should, because once you get used to exercising on a regular basis, you really recognize how it keeps your mind healthy, your body healthy. You feel better emotionally.
my personal choice is my money. I get to do whatever I want, right? But my point is, you are a shop front. And what you decide to show to the world is a shop front. I get away with the shit I get away with. Even saying the things I say is because I'm big and strong. If I was some little bitch, none of you would be listening to me, right? So that's the world. So if you decide as a man, let's forget the woman thing. As a man, I'm going to be fucking morbidly obese. I'm not going to take you seriously in that business meeting. That is your fucking choice. That's your choice.
And he's right. The way you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you can't control what you're putting in your mouth,
Let's go, baby. I like
No,
the
but
bro.
I agree
Bro.
completely. But there's a big
That's
difference
true.
between like constructive criticism and bullying.
I just don't.
Okay, that's interesting. I do think he has some insightful things to say, and I'm not writing the guy off. I just hope what they're saying about him is not true, and I have a tendency to doubt the government and give favor to people over. I mean, there's a whole agenda out there looking to destroy guys like him. So we're going to keep going. I have this other clip that is, I believe this is Andrew Tate's brother. It's very brief, and I just want to hear what he has to say here.
Why does mainstream society work so hard to shame guys for doing
It's
what
also
they want
fresh
to
and
do
fit.
with their natural instinct? But we don't shame women for being hypergamous and picking the best guys. Why?
You know what? I think it's just destroying the masculinity of men, and I don't want to make this podcast too political.
Please go.
But destroying
Whatever you want to say.
destroying the
that's Andrew Tate's
masculinity of men
brother.
is very important if you want to have a society where you can easily
Yes.
control everybody. I think
See,
it's the reason
He's
why-
saying exactly almost how I would have said this. Like, if you want to conquer society and dominate people, you have to dominate strong men, because strong men determine the tide of the world, where we're going, the trajectory we're on. Absolutely, dude.
certain brother of mine was deleted
Andrew?
everywhere
Think
on
he's
social
referring
media
to
because
Andrew?
he tries to tell young men
You can hear in their voice that they're brothers. They look alike. If he shaved his head, he could be his brother for Halloween, yo!
to live in a way that's very true to male nature and very masculine, but also isn't necessarily what the people in charge of the world want. They want malleable slaves paying their taxes, stuck in a sexist marriage with a wife who they can't divorce because they'll lose their house, with kids who don't
Gee,
respect them.
true.
And
Truth
they leave their
bombs.
wife, they have no access to their children. The laws are very skewed in a way to keep men slaving away and working and paying their taxes to provide for women who don't care about them,
Unequivocally.
because that's the most beneficial way to run an economy.
Dude, I can't disagree with anything you said there. I'm floored at how accurate you're saying. Like, everything is geared toward holding men down, when men are what drive this world forward in so many ways, in a better way. So do women as well. We both have a role to play in this world. But why? You know, I'd like to see the actual disgusting fat billionaire hidden hands of powers. What they look like. I'm so I have all the money. What we're doing. Destroy him. Cut off the food supply. Destroy the testosterone. Lower the birth rate. Lower sperm counts. Yeah, I realize I'm a little over the top, but whatever. We're in a very strange world, and so I have the one more clip of Rollo Tomassi to go through, and then I'm going to wrap this one up for the day. Boy, it's going long. I'm at 35 minutes right now. So here we go. Rollo complaining about grifting for the millionth time. Grifting by Rollo Tomassi.
A lot of people think like why are you attacking Pearl? Rollo, why did you attack her? Isn't she like carrying on the
Who's Pearl?
Carrying on the tradition? Isn't she like a good No, she's not a good representative of the red pill, and I will show you in great detail why she is a hack. For the same reason that I think now is a critical moment for people to pay, especially if this is like if you're in the red pill and you're like consuming this content. I'm hoping that I think it's key to develop critical thinking skills. Yes. I've always said, no matter, regardless of what you do, if you want to learn to play guitar or whatever, if you want to like learn to code, you still have to have good critical thinking skills.
Yes.
I think they're at critical thinking is at a premium.
I mean, I hear you criticizing, but I would like when you're talking about this lady Pearl, I haven't seen this yet. I'm reacting to her right now, but I hope you go on to say what Pearl did to demonstrate that she's not well versed in anything, because I just hear you bitching about her now. As you've said, Rollo, provide receipts.
Today. And in no other realm than in the manosphere, particularly, because there's a lot of people who would very much like you to just sort of pass off and think that Greta Thunberg is the one who took down Andrew Tate. Okay.
That's asinine.
Because most people will do that. And John from Model Life Dating was talking about like how, most people are idiots. Yeah, they are. Most people are idiots.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
but Pearl's
people.
an idiot who can get Andrew Tate.
A lot of idiots with potential, though. If you wake up and you get aware, I'm not talking about woke. Don't mistake what I said with being woke.
For sure. And Pearl's an idiot who will take, let's see,
Who's this
Brittany Renner seriously.
Character?
And I want to before I even get into I'm not even going to get into her video with Brittany Renner. I could probably spend all day on that one. But Brittany Renner is clinically bipolar. Provably clinically bipolar. You take her.
If I let me tell you something, Rollo, about being bipolar or whatever. If I deprive you of sleep starting one night, let's say you should get 7 or 8 hours of sleep ideally. If I deprive you of sleep and you get 4 or 5 hours of sleep per night, day after day for several days in a row, I guarantee you're going to be more moody and it's going to start to compound on you. So I like bipolar. Are you grifting when you say bipolar? Do you really have an understanding of what bipolar is? You could probably come right back at me and say, fuck yes, I do, motherfucker. And maybe just prove me wrong in what I'm saying right now, admittedly. But all I'm saying is, I could make you look bipolar if you allowed me to deprive you of enough sleep. Because I think I am when I'm deprived of sleep.
And that are still part of her Instagram, proudly part of her Instagram. Take those videos where she's talking about actually it was this. Hey y'all. That's where that video that I stole that sound drop from.
Is that who we're talking about?
That video is still up on her Instagram. Go look at what.
Hey y'all is Pearl. Because I'm judging Pearl based upon what I'm hearing when she says, hey, y'all. I'm like, oh, her. I don't even know her, but I hear that, and I'm like, it's time to judge.
Stepdaddy season. Go look at the videos where she's like sucking down Chardonnay and yelling at her camera, like incoherently.
Right.
She becomes who.
I mean, I act like a clown. Does it diminish my credibility? Well, probably does. Jules thinks it does. Thank you, Jules, for the opinion.
You expect her to be on whatever show she happens.
Jules, I want to get you behind a computer and have you mix my audio so that I can say, cut to me, and then you'll cut to me. Will you do that for me, Jules? My sweet little owl, Jules, who?
Yeah, and now that she's 20, she's looking for sympathy right now. She's in the epiphany phase, really. But she's criminally insane. Seriously. If you would take those, if you would have like a clinical psychologist go and analyze her, you're like, yeah, she's crazy as fuck. She is bipolar. She has MPD and she's bipolar. That's my like I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. That's my professional diagnosis, Dr. Tomassi, right?
Okay, so I take back, I'm sitting here outside trying to say, you don't know what bipolar is, but I'm pretty certain you know what bipolar is. So I acquiesce to your probably very superior knowledge about that, but I still say I can make you pretty damn moody if I deprive you of sleep, Buster.
Now, if you go and you look at that, and you look at again, the internet doesn't forget. Go look at her Twitter. Go look at her Instagram. Go look at what she produces and what she puts out there. She's crazy as fucking a bag of cats, man. So why on earth are we still having this person on shows?
But this is all about someone who's grifting and doesn't have credibility. It sounds like you've convinced me that you are definitely spot on with this one. I wish you would show me examples as you're saying this. Show me the woman right now.
Hot? She's not going to be hot for very much longer, put it that way.
I want to see what she looks like now that you mentioned that too. We have these visual things we do. You should have an example of what she looks like. Put a picture of the lady up when you're talking about her, dude.
Just single mommy looking for someone. It's stepdaddy season. She'll be happy to tell you that she is looking opportunistically for somebody to take care of her. Now, she makes a lot of money. Not, she can take care of herself. Yes, I know that. She's a strong, independent woman. Great. But she's not so strong and independent that she won't go on a show with Andrew Tate because she knows there's going to be a lot of eyes on that show. Narcissistic personality disorder and bipolar disorder. Why do you have on her? Why are we talking?
I believe you. Just from the sound clip you played, I'm almost inclined to believe you about narcissism because
even why is that?
Am I making an
point? Especially when she has literally written books about how she's going to use her sexuality to baby trap a professional athlete, and successfully has done so. Why is that not the first question out of your mouth? Why is that? We need to hold these bitches accountable. Why are we not? What is it?
Tell these bitches to go to hell.
Why is that not?
All right, dude, that's very good. You always stimulate my mind, and I actually appreciate what you do. Even though I'm goofing on you, if you listen to the full thing, it's like I'm trying to be silly. Jules, cut to me. Thank you. She didn't really do it. You're just sitting there, right? You don't even know how to do it yet. I haven't trained you into that. But I actually do want to say welcome to the new sidekick here, Jules and Copy. Mr. and Mrs. Jules Copy Who, right? No, it's Mr. and Mrs. Copy Who. And Jules is the companion. And Jules is much too young for you now. You're going to have to give her a few years. But I have hereby betrothed the little one to you. And, that's just the way I'll say it for now. That's okay. So I will. I'm gonna let you go. That's it. I'm wrapping this up. I went 43 minutes. I was way too long, and I have a good night of sleep. And I'm sad that I didn't prepare more stuff. I could probably go on saying something stupid right now, but I won't. I will leave you wanting more, you few loyal people who've reached out to me and said I'm doing a very good job, and the evolution of what I'm doing over the past 5 weeks has been really cool, and I don't want to plateau. I want to keep going. I want to keep making things better. I was practicing technically on here last night having a call-in guest. It's not quite the way I want it yet, but it's working and it's going to happen, and these new things are going to happen, and I'm enjoying being a producer again, and I want to thank those who have reached out to say hi and express your compliments about what I'm doing here. So that's it for now. This is Copy Who, and I am out of here. Whoa. Yeah. I'm not really gonna rap today, but I might say, if I like the way things go, then I might say it gay. What does it mean to say it gay? You say a lot of things that don't matter anyway. That sounds hateful, but I was just trying to rhyme. I have the time and my mind works better after hours of sleep, 'cause when it's deep, I ain't no fucking mindless sheep. That's it, everybody. Peace be with you all. Have a nice day.